How you doing there, folks? Baiters here with another video for you all. Today we're gonna look at the top 25 shocking mysteries in Red Dead Redemption 2. Remember, if you like this video, be sure to teabag that like button, because every time someone likes this video, a dyslexic donkey named Gunther learns a new word. Also, there are spoilers in this video, so if that's not your bag, baby, then you better close your eyes. Now go ahead and loosen up those fun buns, and let's get to average baiting, baby! At the top of Mount Hagen, there is a sutler wearing what appears to be conquistador armor, which, if I had to hazard a guess, probably has like a plus 10 sword defense and a minus 1000 cold weather defense by the looks of this chilly motherfucker over here. Now, one of two things happened to this guy. Either he froze to death because he couldn't afford a North Face jacket, or he ran into Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat and got ice blasted. In either case, he probably had some regrets before he shit the bed. Now, you can actually take this guy's helmet once you find him, too, which is pretty sweet, and it's likely to make all the dames down at the LARP park wet in their panties. I mean, it's a pretty sweet helmet. I honestly feel like I need to rescue Pocahontas when I'm wearing this helmet. Located just north of Barrow Lagoon, there is a mysterious gravesite that's been exhumed for God knows what reason, and the gravestone itself has been defaced. Honestly, what kind of sick, twisted, disrespectful, no good for nothing son of a would deface a gravestone? Holy fucking arm move! Now, the inscription on the defaced gravestone reads, "No ice in hell," all in caps. I'm thinking whoever wrote that wasn't a fan of colder climates. Can you imagine, though, if this guy gets to hell just to find out it's covered in ice? Man, would he feel like an idiot, right? Northwest of Strawberry, there is a stranger mission. It's a bizarre guy named Francis who needs your help locating some rock carvings, but something's not quite right about Francis. For instance, he speaks with a pattern and dialect not of this time. He also talks about the absurdity of his mission, and how no one would believe him if he told them why he needed the rock carvings. Now, once you get all the rock carvings and you send them back to Francis, he'll invite you to his little house. However, upon getting there will be no sign of Francis. At least not the adult version of Francis anyways. There will, however, be a lady there with her baby who also happens to be called Francis. The baby has similar facial features to the adult Francis, including a one-of-a-kind birthmark on his face. It turns out our boy Francis here was a bit of a time traveler, and he didn't need a DeLorean. No. He just needed some rock carvings as a way to get back to the future. Some 20 to 30 years in the future by the looks of how old he was. Where I'm guessing he learned to travel back in time to meet his father before he died. Because his father died just after Francis was born. That's what I'm thinking. Now, just east of Aurora Basin, you can find a hole just filled to the brim with dead rugby players, or guys who just really like to dress in sync with one another. I don't know which it is. Most of these guys just died wearing particularly awful shorts, but some of these guys have special hoods with lipstick and whatnot on them. You know, really pressed up to look like real weirdos. If I had to venture a guess what happened here, I would imagine it was an orgy that went horribly, horribly wrong. Located in Grizzly's East Amberino, you'll find a giant face sculpted in the mountain. I mean, art's a funny thing. One second you're recreating your wife's face in a mountain thousands of miles away as an expression of love, and the next you're reading a letter about her licking the balls of some hack city artist named Charles. Now, Charles is one of the strangers you can interact with in Saint Denis, who is known for sleeping with other people's wives. This is gotta be the artistic equivalent of getting your ex-girlfriend's name tattooed on your face, right? Needless to say, the artist regretted some of his decisions. The face in the mountain is likely an actual reference to Mount Rushmore in the United States. UFOs have long been present in Rockstar's universe, so it's no surprise that they'd show up somewhere in Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, just north in New Hanover, there's a little house. Now, if you enter this residence at night, you'll find more than a bunch of crusty dead lunatics. Apparently, these Kool-Aid drinking psychos were onto some as an unidentified flying object will fly over the building for a while you're inside. However, once you step outside to get a better look at the thing, they'll book their little space cheeks back to Naboo or the Death Star or wherever the they're from. Now, northwest of Bluewater Marsh, there's an overly friendly fellow situated on his front porch. Now, he's very adamant about strangers staying for supper and watching him and his sister get to second base over some mashed potatoes. Bumping uglies with blood relatives isn't the only thing that these psychos are known for. No. They enjoy murdering their guests with some poisoned beverages as well, and stealing all their money. They drop their victims in a big hole just outside of their house. However, they likely didn't use enough poison when it came to our boy Arthur here, as he came back angrier than tits looking for his $500, and possibly an Advil cold and sinus for his hangover headache. Now, if you come back into this house after they thought they murdered you, they will become very hostile, and you'll have to shoot these sick freaks to death in order to get your shit back. Lucky for Arthur, he overheard them talking about their dear old mom before they bushwhacked him and left him for dead. So if you look behind the painting of dear old mother incest, you'll find all the money that was stolen, but still no Advil, unfortunately. Near the top of Mount Sean is where you'll find the next little secret. Atop this big old juicy mountain at night, there's a chance to see yet another spaceship. This spaceship comes down and floats around for a few seconds and then darts back off to the mothership. Now these aliens aren't really into chit-chat though. No, they just like to come down and show off their flying objects to ambitious mountain climbers. You know, flex and then fly off. They're like the Honda Civic owners of ETs. Now, east of Donner Falls, there is a fancy little cave which is so secret and inviting, I just couldn't help but peek my face in just for a little bit. Inside, there's a bunch of naked guy statues, and in the middle of the creepy naked dude statues, there is a bird statue with a human head, which is also pretty upsetting. Turns out these statues are some weirdo's idea of a perverted Tomb Raider puzzle. Now, all you gotta do to solve the puzzle is go around poking these guys' statues' wood in the right order. Seems pretty easy, right? And then the middle statue will open up, revealing 3 gold bars. Now, the sequence for you cheaters out there is as follows. Located in Caliga Hall, Liamore, you will come across Gray's secret. Now, before you can find Gray's secret, though, you must first access Caliga Hall, which is full of armed guards and witnesses, making it a tricky place to navigate. Fortunately, when done right, you can slip right into the guarded farm, preferably at night without being seen. There you can find the Gray's secret at the large Caliga Hall house that is located on the western side of the farm in the middle of the 2 other buildings. Here, just behind the main estate on a table, you'll find a letter next to a dead guy. The letter talks about Gray's ancestors supporting the Jacobites during the Scottish Revolution. Personally not sure why this is a life-altering secret for the Grays. It's not nearly as bad as finding out they had herpes. It's important to note that you will not be able to access Gray's secret until you have completed the Gray's mission during Chapter 3. Southwest of Flatneck Station, along the shoreline, you'll find a guy washed up on shore. By the looks of it, he had himself a bit of a boating accident. Probably thought, fish do it all the time, how hard could it be? Left the water wings at home, and set out on an adventure. Turns out swimming's tough, and he wasn't very buoyant. So he winded up like a beach jellyfish. Now, when you go to loot his body, it turns out he's not quite dead after all, and he says to tell Bonnie something or other as he tries to kiss you on the mouth. Turns out Bonnie Mac, or B-Mac as I like to call her, had herself a love interest, but before he could motorboat her titties, he winded up deader than shit. On his body is a letter to Bonnie McFarlane, the nice farm lady from Red Dead Redemption 1. Upon closer inspection of his letter, it looks like our slippery wet pants over here was actually fixing to ask Bonnie McFarlane to be with him, to wed him, to make him an honest lady. But unfortunately, he was never able to propose, seeing as how he became super dead and all. Located in Big Valley, West Elizabeth, there is a bunch of trees with faces carved into them. How weird is that? Now, some of the faces look angry, some of the faces look sad, but I can say this with certainty, they are all made out of wood. I once knew a guy who used to carve faces into trees. Apparently, he then used to try to f*** those trees. So, could be that. Really makes you wonder what kind of secrets those pine cones could tell. Southeast of Mount Sean on the map, there is some alien graffiti on a rock. Not sure what the symbols mean, but then again, I can't read or write, let alone break down alien calligraphy. If I had to venture a guess though, I'd say it says something like, call this number for free blowjobs, maybe? This is definitive proof here that aliens are willing to travel billions of light years to write the intergalactic equivalent of E.T. was here, in what appears to be white paint. Look out, Sigourney Weaver! He's got a crayon! Now these aliens are like the Teletubbies of the alien universe, just bouncing around, drawing, and playing with their nipples and shit. I can honestly say if I came face to face with the Teletubby alien, I would man up and kick that funky alien right in the forehead. Save everyone from an alien invasion, no problem. Easy peasy, Teletubby kick in the facey. You know what I mean? No problem. In the southwest section of San Diego, there is a stranger mission where you'll get to meet Rockstar's Tesla equivalent, Mr. Big Nuts over here. Now, if you help this brain puppet complete his scientific experiments, eventually he will create life. However, in order to help him with this impossible task of creating life, after the first mission you do with him, you'll have to come by this location in the northern part of the map during a rainstorm at night. Here, you'll get to hotwire the earth with some electricity rods, and bada bing bada boom, he'll bring a robot to life right in front of your eyes. The robot, however, is a bit lackluster and unable to take even one step without eating shit. However, if you leave Dr. Frankenstein alone with the robot for a few days, apparently he's a quick learner. Because not only does he learn how to walk, he also learns how to murder. And if you come back after a few days, you'll see the robot is missing, and poor old Professor whatever the f his name is, has bitten the big one, and died, and probably pooped himself. Now if you go way up into the northern mountains, located right here on the map, then you'll see tracks leading right out to the edge of the cliff. There you'll find Bender just sitting there in the snow, covered in the Professor's blood, reminiscing about Skynet or some shit. Now if you're afraid he'll murder again, you can put the robot out of commission by shooting him in the face. Which is what I did, because let's face it, he was one synthetic skin suit away from becoming a Terminator. West of Roanoke Valley, there are fossilized remains of a man in a mountainside. That's right, inside of it. Now this guy looks like he was blasted right into this mountain. Must have been something fierce to put a man all up inside a mountain like that. Honestly, I tried to discover what happened to this guy, but I didn't get a response. Honestly, it was like talking to a wall. A bada bing shh. I'm sorry for that joke, by the way. I'm thinking this might be a carnivorous mountain. It's like an M. Night Shyamalan film. This guy got a little too close during feeding time, and wada bing bada boom, it gobbled him the f up. Seems legit. It's like the Venus flytrap with some mountains. I don't know though, guys. I'm just spitballing here. I got no idea how a guy gets inside of a mountain. Found running around the river by Roanoke Valley, there is a weird crazy man who thinks he's a wolf. Just by the river here, you may find this interesting fellow who's been raised by wolves, like he's Mowgli in the Jungle Book. However, when he sees you, he'll full send towards his cave because he's afraid you bring innovation and civilization and you'll disrupt his balanced natural ecosystem or whatever. Now, if you do stalk him all the way back to his proprietary mountain crevice, two of his canine brethren will dash out and try to bite your face. However, if you shoot the angry wolves, it will make Wolverine's hairless cousin over there start crying and all over himself. He's pretty worked up about it. I mean, just look at him. If you go into the general store in Armadillo, you guys might find something really interesting. You guys remember that mysterious guy from Red Dead Redemption? You know, the one everyone thought was the devil? You know, he was that dapper Dan who would appear out of nowhere and poop on John's morally ambiguous lifestyle and choices. Even when John tried to shoot him in Red Dead Redemption, the bullets would just go right through him like he was Agent Smith in The Matrix. Well, apparently, before he got into the business of scaring ethically handicapped outlaws, he was a face model. And he had one customer, this perverted store clerk right here. What did the store clerk want with this photo, you might be wondering? Well, nobody knows. Nobody knows. But if I had to guess, I bet he probably pours hot candle wax on his nipples while he destroys his dick after hours staring at that photo. The fence in San Diego has got some strange items for sale. I mean, he's got gizmos and gadgets aplenty. He's got who's its and what's its galore. You want thingamabobs? He's got plenty. But wait. Oh, wait. There's more! He's also got one creepy end-of-the-world mask that caused the undead nightmare. Just chilling on his rare item shelf. Right there. Look at it. God damn. I mean, this guy clearly has no idea how close he is to starting a zombie apocalypse. Now, I'm not sure how this mask causes a zombie outbreak, but I do hear that if you scratch it, it'll make it worse. So definitely don't scratch it. Now, there is a serial killer on the loose in Red Dead Redemption 2, and if you're perspicacious enough in your travels, you'll come across some of his sick little scenes. There are 3 murder scenes in total, one just south of Valentine, one just south of Rhodes, and one south of Wallace Station. Each and every one of these little crime scenes more twisted than the last. Once you've visited all 3 murder mysteries, you'll have acquired 3 parts of a map. Now, the map will lead to a boy dungeon just southwest of Valentine, where this lunatic goes to beat his dick while he wears a wig and pretends to be his mom. Now, once you confront him and you take him to jail, he won't go in quietly. No. And long story short, you'll have to shoot him right in the face before he gives Constable whatever the rabies. Now, northeast of Lake Isabella, you'll find 2 people all curled up, popsicled together, like 2 forgotten Hungry Man dinners. Now, they pressed up against one another in what appears to be an attempt to stay warm. but they took an L on that one, as they look like two frozen dog turds. Now they do, however, have a map in their cold dead fingers, of which is super ambiguous, but it actually pertains to another Easter egg where you can see the flying saucer at the top of Mount Sean. This map itself is a simplistic picture of all the areas that are visible from the top of the mountain. Now it's an interesting little Easter egg, but I'm not sure if these people knew that they were freezing their giblets off for a close encounter of the first kind. I'm thinking they thought maybe gold bars or something, you know? Now in Saint Denis, there is a serial killer going around boasting about his kills and blood on different walls in the city. He's like the Call of Duty player of serial killers, flexing on his kill streaks and shit. There's actually 5 of these bloody sketches found throughout Saint Denis, located here, 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 and here. Anyways, when you find all 5 of his bloody finger paintings, then they'll all connect together, kind of forming a star shape. And at the center of that star is a little area in Saint Denis. Now, if you go to that area at night after solving the murder mystery puzzle, then there will be a corpse indicator in the alleyway just off in the distance. When you go to check out the dead dude down the street, you'll see a sickly old guy making out with him. When you confront this crusty weirdo, he'll Scooby-Doo up the situation and tell you he's a fucking vampire. Because that's probably better than telling people you're trying to fuck a dead guy, right? Anyways, when you don't believe him, he'll get all antsy in his pantsies and try to stab you in the nipples. So you'll have to shoot this Scooby-Doo villain right in the fucking scrotum and he'll go down like a sack of shit. Vampire or not, he eats shit just like a crusty old man pervert, you know? Boom. As soon as you hit him in the face with that gun, deader than shit. Figured I'd have to stab him in the heart or something, but nope, nothing that complex. South of Van Horn Trading Post is a secret mass grave with a tombstone. Many workers are buried here, as is evident by the markings on the gravestone with their worker numbers and their death dates. I'd imagine this is every little girl's dream job. Now, not only do you get yourself an employer that can't remember anyone's names, but literally works people to death. A lot of people say that they hate their job, but in this case, I would definitely give them a pass. Probably had those poor bastards lugging around plutonium with no gloves and shit. No, worker 4, not like that. Use your mouth. That's it. Get all that radioactive shit inside your face. Yeah, good for. Remind me to give you a half a chocolate bar later while I count my money. North of Donner Falls, you might be able to have a conversation with Bigfoot. Now, in order to initiate the conversation with this unseen friend, though, the consensus seems to be that you'll need to study 30 different species of animals, excluding horses and fish, then find and follow a specific flock of birds near Calumet Ravine. Now, if you follow the birdies, they will lead you to this bouldered up cave. Now, if you miss the birds, then you can just come north of McCrae's Run on your own accord. Either way, once the area is revealed by the birds, then Bigfoot, or whoever it is in there, will start up some amicable dialogue about how he's not good with people and how he likes it all alone in his super lonely dark cave. Clearly, this is a cry for help. His calm demeanor is most definitely a ruse. I mean, he's likely bursting from excitement like a f***ing Jolly Rancher when he sees someone to talk to. That's my theory on this. Just west of Cola Springs, if you travel just outside this location late at night, you'll see a bit of fireworks in terms of a house just exploding for no reason. Why did the house explode? Who knows? But I'm thinking it was like an incredibly early, not-so-safe methamphetamine lab. You know, cooking up the blue stuff Walter White style, when Jimmy misplaced the hot candle and boom! All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put these amateur drug dealers back together again. That's my theory. Northwest of Van Horn Trading Post, there is a unique, rugged-looking shack that doesn't appear to be special whatsoever. But that's just a ruse, because underneath this building late at night, there appears to be some sort of satanic symbol. It even glows in the dark, which would be super impressive if I was still 7 years old. Not sure why the symbol is under this building. Might indicate some sort of portal to another world. Now, I've tried to open the portal by sacrificing this unlucky skank over here. Grabbed him, threw him down, and then I murdered him. But nothing happened, you know? First I killed him, then I burnt him, kind of as a last-ditch Hail Mary, but nothing. No gateway, no underworld, nothing. I gotta admit, this portal is very uneventful, okay? It's very lackluster, all right? It's as unfun as a dried-up water slide. Thanks again for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to slap that subscribe button like it's 3 weeks behind on your rent. Where's the money? Where's the money? Where is it? Also, go ahead and hit that bell icon too, because apparently YouTube thought there should be extra steps. Why not, right?
I'd like to subscribe, but first I have to click this and do this. Oh, it needs an email. All right, and this. Okay. Just tell me when he's uploading.
Once you do all that, if you're lucky, at the stroke of midnight, a tiny little Averagebaters fairy might come and tickle your butthole. Now, I hope to see you all again next time, and remember to keep on average baiting, baby.